Hello everyone and welcome back to another Star Citizen video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Citizen Career of Salvage. So, Salvage 1 is slated to be in the Star Citizen Alpha 3.7 update, or quarter 4 of 2019. We have the little title here, I'll just read it straight on. It says, designing, implementing mechanics required for players to be able to strip materials from a ship's hull. This system will be designed to accommodate players who are on foot or in a ship. The player will have to scan the environment to find salvageable debris. Once harvested, unrefined materials can be sold at kiosks. So that is the version 1 tile. That is the only thing on the roadmap currently. So things we'll get later on, or things that have not been confirmed for version 1 of Salvage, is being able to scrap entire pieces of a ship, like cutting off a wing and throwing that into the reclaimer, saw blade, weird metal trash compactor, or being able to take out and sell all of the ship weapons or components. So one of the things they did say on the tile was scanning for debris, so we will have to do that to like kind of scan the area and see what is or isn't salvageable on the ship. Like it says, we'll be able to strip the metal off the ship. It also says we'll be able to sell off the unrefined materials, so we don't have any word if we'll be able to sell the refined or have any way to refine the metal. So both salvage and mining have the potential on some things to come to the same item. So when you strip a hull and then melt that metal down, you'll get the base metal in a refined cube, I guess, is how we're looking at it. So an SCU of metal. And if you mine that metal and refine it from a mining standpoint, you'll get the exact same item. So prices on that probably won't change as much as I have a used item from a ship. I would like to sell it, so they did explain in one of the RTVs that that's probably not going to be a very profitable way of salvaging a ship, which is go and get all the items and then sell those, because they will be used items. Even if you buy something in real life that's used, it is at a severe discount, and reselling it after you've used it, even opened it, does take down the price a bit. And then you gotta think of what condition it was in, how much they bought it for originally. So selling items just for ships is not going to be very profitable, but they said they will have some sort of balance between the metal you'll get from a ship and the ship weapons themselves. Not to mention that salvaging items from a ship you don't necessarily have to sell. You can also keep those items and use them for yourself. Stuff like gimbals and weapons. Maybe they have a better cooler. Maybe it was a very specific ship that went down. Let's say it was a mining ship and they had a special industrial power plant that you may have the 1 tier down and you just upgrade to that because there it is. Or maybe they were a ship that focused on all lasers. Me personally flying with an all laser setup, you need better power, so they probably have a better power plant. Maybe it was someone who had better engines, or so on and so forth. You could just take those and use them yourself instead of selling them. As far as gathering stuff on foot, I believe we'll be using the paw multi-tool to be cutting pieces off the hull. I don't know about refining it or getting it into an SCU kind of container to sell, but they do mention being able to salvage at least bits on foot. We also are going to be getting a detonator kind of charge that we put on the hull and it will strip it away. That is not to blow it up, but specifically to save the hull for scrapping. So that is a tool we might get in version 1, but will be coming in later salvage updates. Okay, so let's talk about some theoretical based kind of gameplay. So the 2 different kinds of gameplay we have kind of laid out before us right now is split between the Vulture and the Reclaimer, because they're very different sizes and they're built for very different things. The Reclaimer is built for just chew through wrecks and move on. The Reclaimer is built for just a single person and to do very specific kind of almost scalpel-like cuts, I suppose. Maybe it's probably not that precise, but it's for much smaller things. So the Vulture, to start off with, is again a single seat, single person flyer. So what you're going after would be to strip the hull of whatever, or at least some of the hull, and you have very limited cargo space. So maybe you strip the hull and then see if you have any space left over. Again, parts might not be the thing that you need to go after because you are such a small fighter. You need as much credits as you can make for your cargo hold. It will work nicely in tandem with different cargo ships, so you salvage a bit, send it off to a different ship, and they go run it off. Both ships will need to have the data, or well, in version 1 they'll need the scanner's ability. So you'll go into an area scan, oh there's a wreck, go get that. But in later games when data is fleshed out, we'll probably be able to sell the data of a salvage, and then somebody will buy that, and that's how data running will go. More on that in a later video, so definitely subscribe for more career videos. We'll be pumping them out hopefully once a month, maybe, if I can get them. There's not a lot of data for a lot of them, but anyway, subscribe for more careers videos. So the Reclaimer is going to be a much bigger, probably owned by an organization, or at least run by an organization, and they'll probably have their own scanning teams anyway. So this ship is probably, I forget, it's about like, it's more than 3 people at least going on a Reclaimer. So you'll get the data from your organization, say, go here, salvage this amount of wreck. And you go there and you might be out there for a couple in-game days or 2. And then you'll have a full cargo hold, you'll have refined materials, you go back to port and you have them, you switch the hands of all the materials and you sell them and you get paid by your organization. It's a much bigger, broader game loop instead of more of a kind of gathering mission like normal MMOs would have. A go here, do this thing, go home, finish quest, or get paid. So it's very different, these 2 loops that will be in game. Excuse me, again, version 1 will only have stripping the hull of the materials and might not have these full systems in when we get there. Now, onto a much more tricky subject. What is or isn't legal salvage? I tried looking this up on Google. You try it if you'd like. The IRL legal and illegal salvage is a very kind of fuzzy line, and I can't really understand it. Basically, what I understand of it is you have to help a in-danger ship, and then you are entitled to some or 100% of the value of what was saved, but that requires you helping out people on the ship. So that's as much as I understand legal salvage. I assume in-game will be much more gamey and plain. I do hope they keep the must contact previous owners of ship to salvage it. So if you find a Kovalex Starfarer out in the middle of nowhere, you have to say, hey Kovalex, I found this ship, do you have any claim on it? And they say no, then it becomes your legal salvage. Any illegal salvage is really plain in games terms. It's probably just any ship taken by force. Also, cargo on the ship can be considered salvage in some instances. If you just board the ship and take the loot, it's kind of salvage. Salvage is a very piratey kind of thing, so there's that. I would imagine that in the full game, when we have all communications and data stuff set up, we will be able to say, hey, on a broad scope, I'm being hunted by salvagers, and people will come. So just taking a ship won't be so easy. That is borderline, that is pirating, basically, just scrapping a ship. And I think there will be orgs that will definitely have a Reclaimer and just, I'm going to salvage every ship I see. And that will be kind of terrifying when you see that kind of come into the system. So gotta keep your eyes out for that. But I think that is everything for this this episode. If I've missed anything or got anything wrong, definitely let me know in the comments. I'll make a either updated video to this or a sequel to this, so stay tuned and subscribe to the channel for that. Like the video if you liked it, and let me know if this was helpful at all, and I will see you guys in the next one, I think. That's everything. Bye, guys.